Hey everyone, today I'm going to demonstrate how to deflock a vintage G.I. Joe action figure head. It's really pretty simple. Most folks can do this themselves, save a little bit of money on their reflocking if they're so inclined. Generally, it costs a little more if you send someone a head to be reflocked that actually has hair on it. It's not easy. It's not ridiculously hard either. It's just takes a little bit of time, and it takes a little bit of effort on your part. Really simple though. You need just a jar. You need some isopropyl alcohol. You can get it at any hardware store, any grocery store, drugstore. It's basically you get the stuff that's 75 to 90%. It's all good. Works fine. This stuff happens to come from Walgreens. No big deal. Then you basically pour your alcohol into the jar, and plunk in your heads and let them sit for 8 to 24 hours. If it seems when you're taking the flock off, it's still a little hard, you can always just throw it back in and send it some more time. No amount of time in alcohol will ruin a vintage G.I. Joe head. It just doesn't hurt anything, doesn't hurt the paint, doesn't hurt the plastic. So the only thing it does is loosens the glue on the flocked head. So we'll reach in, we'll grab one. I got a couple that have been sitting here since yesterday. Take one out. This looks like an action man or a man of action, since he has no beard. Drain a little bit, and there he is. It's a little drippy. I'll just set him down here real quick to dry. The only tool that you'll need that I use for this, X-Acto blade and a holder. You don't even doesn't even need to be a nice new blade. You never use this end. This is the sharp side. The sharp side, you will ruin a head quicker than you can say, what the? Always use the dull side. The dull side won't scratch, and it won't cut. So you don't have to worry about accidentally nicking off a giant chunk of your vintage head's features. The nice part about it, once you get your head soaked, you can actually start to see what the colors are in the blends of the flock that you're using. Generally, when I'm reflocking a fella's or a person's head, I'll keep a little piece of that flock to the side, and that way when I'm going to reflock it, I'll try to match that particular blend. As you know, if you've done any heads over any period of time, there were so many different colors of blends that Hasbro used when they were flocking these heads that, in order to just fix a spot repair, you would have to know all of the colors that went into the head. And really, if you get patches like this, it's just way better than trying to patch that. Just go ahead and reflock the whole thing. If you had a little fella like this or this, you can maybe get away with it, but the flock is always going to be a little different, and it's always going to look like a repair. If you reflock this in total, it then becomes a really nice repaired, reflocked head that has as much value as a vintage non-reflocked head. Generally, you're going to be just much happier with the finished product. So it's a simple matter of taking the head, turning your knife blade over, and just scraping a little bit as you go, taking off the hair, and then, like I said, I'll store that temporarily for a comparison of the flock that I'm going to reflock with versus what was originally on this particular head. And you'll notice it takes a little bit of pressure. It's not a huge amount of pressure. You can use the tip, never the sharp side, but always the dull side. to help you with the little nooks and crannies. Just generally scraping and taking the pieces as you go. You notice that sometimes the glue does come with, but if it doesn't, you can always go back and just give it a couple of rubs and you'll get basically everything off of this head that's in the contact area for the glue that you're going to use to apply your reflock materials. When you get to the front side, just use a little care, gently pull off all the chunks and just continue to scrape away until you get the head completely deflocked. As you know, it just maybe take, it's been 5 minutes so far and I've been yapping as I go, so probably take you less than 10 minutes in total from the time you start pulling your flocked head out of the juice and finish scraping it off. Generally on the front, just gently, carefully pull it along the hairline and it'll come right off. Don't be afraid to use a little pressure. Gently clean it as you go. If you notice this one seems to have some red fuzz stuck in there. I don't consider that to be part of the flock. It's most likely just some fuzzy contaminant for its 50-year lifespan. So there you go, it's almost done. Finishing up just a little bit around the edge. And gently around the ears, again using just the back. You can go ahead and scrape out the part line. And that's about it. There you go. The next step on this would be cleanup. And I'll do a little quickie video of that for folks that want to know how I do mine. I'll post that after this. So there you go. A deflocked vintage Hasbro G.I. Joe head.